G'day, Ollie Badcock from Kerner Pasture here. Here we are in late November. What are we up to there this month? We've been doing an awful lot of pre-mowing. Obviously mating. Mating's been a big one. We're still in our first 3 weeks. Currently we're sitting about 70% submitted with another 3 or 4 days left to go, so we'll probably hit around that 84% submission rate, which I'm not too concerned. The target's always 90, but for us, I'd sooner be putting up the cow that's actually on heat, and getting a better conception rate. So that's what we're focusing on in the mornings at the minute. We've still got most of the calves still on the platform, so we're just rotating them around, feeding them meal before they go over to the station. And yeah, like I said, seed head battle. We're of that stage where growth rate went from 30 to 106 within a week. And every grass plant in South Island, New Zealand would have wanted to go to seed. So we're flat out pre-mowing in front of the cows. We feel we get better growth rates in front, the less dead matter on top. Yes, we're probably mowing grass into them, so we're trying to force intakes as well, rather than doing the post topping and letting them have the pick. We've done it a few years there now, and seeing the difference between a post and a primo top, and I honestly think we're using more grass by putting it down their throats and getting a stronger, faster growth rate, as well as I get to keep a clean tractor as well, which is always a plus. So this is the first herd's grass tonight. The second herd down there walking into the shed, they'll have primo as well. What I have trialled this year is primo in morning and night breaks, just because the grass is just absolutely gone through the roof. Like I said, we went from 30 to 106 growth, following a 77 growth. We'll measure again there tomorrow, but I can't see us being anything under 70. So it's all about trying to keep quality. The cows are holding. We're still sitting at about 2.1 milk solids a cow. Conditions are great on them. We're still feeding them 4 kilos in the shed. That's potentially, I've got grass to grass paddocks taken out, so some of the stuff we've done is we've sprayed off and we're direct drilling grass. Bit of a different tool in my toolbox there this year. Some of my steep south facing paddocks that don't really get to see a lot of the sun, they're being direct drilled, so they've got less time of weed burden on a full cultivation. They're also pretty steep and hilly, so a full cultivation probably wouldn't do them justice. So main aim is to get dry matter growing and a better quality of grass plant. So that's where the direct drilling will be a good solution to regenerating younger grasses. So that's basically been a couple of topics. Also the trees are a never-ending clean-up job. We've actually got a big crew come in this year. All of those big trees that fell down on my tanker track, they're all being chipped, and they'll be used for the wood chip on my calving and wintering pads, which is a great utilisation of such a sad disaster, but at least we get cheaper wood chip. Cows are cycling well. Heifers, we did our heifers on a 2-shot PG program, and we saw them at 93% submission. 90% submission. So out of the 222 that we had to put up, we only had 200. We put 200 up, and the other 22 didn't. So I'm hoping for some really good results on them, and we'll find out that when we scan them in February. So they went out after the 5-day PG mating program, and then Jersey Bulls followed in behind. A bit of a mating plan that we've got for the cows, slightly a bit different there this year. So we're still flat out using fresh sex semen. So I'm putting that into my top 200 cows. Nothing on first calvers though. We looked up a couple of years ago, and there's a big wastage rate from our first calvers not getting back in calf. So our main aim is to get them back in calf and to, you know, just get them back in the vat for the next season. So we focus mainly on our 3-year-olds for the sex semen, 4-year-olds. And then the bottom 40% are going to beef. Now that's a variety of Hereford, Charolais and Angus this year. We saw some good results on Charolais, so I'm putting a bit more of them in this year. And yeah, just trying to tighten up the cows that we want to breed from. Being really selective, because as the wife and I take over this herd and we buy the rest of the cows there next year, it's just fine-tuning the cows that we like to milk, we want to breed from. We've also done some inside office work when we've had a bit of time, and just try and fine-tune budgets for next year, cash flows, and sitting down with a consultant to even nut out, you know, where we can head, what we can do, where we can progress from this season, because, you know, it's been a tough spring, and there's always ways that we can fine-tune how we're doing something, mainly in that silage space, or adding a bit extra supplement. I feel like we can really achieve a lot in the early part of lactation, and then back off the supplement and then fill the hole with the silage towards the end of the lactation. And yeah, so hopefully you'll see some cool videos there this month, drenching, AIing, all the normal carry on. But yeah, really pleased to see some grass growing, and cows are milking and looking real good. So here we are, day out from mating. I scratch guarded the cows this morning. I'm painting tonight, so that cow will get scratched off, banged off. Just tail painting there now, for our first morning of AI in the morning. Yeah, it's always fun when this starts again. Some early mornings for the boys because we're first on the run. So we have an AV tech that comes here and she starts us at 7. So yeah, boys have to be in the paddock for 3:30. With this mating program, this year I've got 200 sex semen straws to go into the cows, and I'm mating from the top 40% of the cows to replacements, and then the bottom, mating the top 60% for replacements, and the bottom 40% are going to beef. Just because we get so many heifers from our sex plan, plus the fact that we're AIing all of our twos this year. It's just trying to create a product that somebody else wants to buy at the other end of it, and we're not putting it on a bobby truck and wasting a resource. So sex generally goes really well for us. We're getting about 62-63% conception to fresh sex semen, and then yeah, so I'll do a quick wee vid there in the morning of picking cows, but here I am, probably 100 cows into the herd, and I've already seen 7 cows that are bulled today, so I'd say our first day might be busy. So we're at day number 12, submitted 400 cows out of H60. Good few heats here this morning, so we've just been tracking under our 4%, what we need to be seeing a day, but as I've just seen, still a few more out there in the yard. We've already got a few there this morning. I'd say we'll be sitting around that 40 cows there this morning, which would be a great number to have up. And yeah, mating's going well, cows are milking really good. Keep the grass growing. Well, we're on day 20. One more day to go for our first 3 weeks. I looked up there this morning, we'd already served 80% of the cows. So with today and tomorrow to go, we've got we should be hitting that 87%. So we're pretty happy with that. I generally use 2 forms of heat protection, and scratch guard and tail paint. Only way I do that is for just clear on heat decisions, making sure that they're really smoked off. And by having two, you can kind of judge yourself against whether, was it a chin rub, was she pushed up too much in the yard, those kind of decisions. So I know it's a little bit more expensive to do the two aids, but because we mate for 4 weeks AI, it just gives us a bit of that clarity of who's on heat and who's not, and who can be put up tomorrow instead of putting cows up too early. So yeah, no, everything's been going good. Just tell you a little bit about fresh sex semen. We get that basically divided against the amount of days that we have. So if we're mating for 21 days and I'm using 200 straws, I've got an allocation of 13 straws a day, 12 straws a day. So I've got to use those straws every single day. So what I tend to do is, we've got a list of all the cows that are eligible for mating to the sex semen to try and increase the conception results. So anybody that's calved before the 10th of September, hasn't had any metabolic problems, and generally high BW and high producing. So those are the types of criteria that we go through, that we've got to select from, and then the rest that are outside of that criteria will either go to crossbred or a beef straw. So yeah, it's just a bit about how we're picking. It's early mornings for the boys and myself. The lads are in the paddock at 3:30, so they'll be looking for a well-deserved rest here shortly. G'day all, welcome back to another month. It's now the 10th, I think it is, of November, and we're just getting persistent showery rain all the time at the moment, which is good in one way, because we've had another, so far this week we've had nearly 40 mil for the week, but we're not getting much of that. So it's getting hard to get any silage done, which we're in a good case anyway. Like, we've got our first cut done, we've got some bales done, but we're at a point now where we've got paddocks like, I'm sure at this point flip this, that we're due to go to silage, but we're still grazable at the same time. And at this stage, there is no real window in the forecast, probably for at least another 10 days minimum. It's just showery, persistent weather for the next week as well, and not real warm. It's bloody cold, to be honest. It's sort of only getting to 15, 16, some days getting to 18. So it's pretty cold for November, to be honest. So yeah, getting silage done. So what we've done is made the decision to any of these paddocks that are near ready is to go and graze them. And to be honest, the cows are actually doing a pretty good job. They're getting residuals down to probably 1,800, I'm going to say. And they're recovering really well too. So what we'll do is take what we've done for first cut at home here into second cut. So we've topped that up with fertiliser the last couple of days to get us through another 3 weeks, and then take that to second cut. So which is not ideal, because ideally we want these girls eating that first cut regrowth, but just with the way the weather is, it's just a decision that we've made to make sure that we still get this at an okay quality. Like, from a grazing point of view, yeah, it is too far gone, but it's still grazable, and you can see here that, you know, it is getting some nodes in it now. So ideally it would have went to silage, but at the same time, if we leave this another 10 days, 2 weeks, it's going to be
pretty rank. So, and we're not going to get much regrowth out of it because he's going to take it off and it's going to be very slow to recover. So, graze it now, and hopefully we'll still, obviously it'll recover now, get another grazing in 3 weeks' time, which will be the plan. While we're here, we're actually next door to our turnip crops, well, one of our turnip crops that we sowed back in September, and it's done really well. So it had a top up of fertiliser about 2 weeks ago. So it's been in the ground now, I'm going to say close to 8 weeks, 7 weeks probably. So technically it's about 4 or 5 weeks off grazing, which will be about the middle of December, and I'll say we'll be on track for that. At some stage we will start getting some warm weather of 25, 30 degree days, which grass growth will slow up, and quality will drop off. So that'll come into it. At the same time, we'll be starting to dry cows off at 1st of January as well. So yeah, we're in a really good position. You don't have to go too far south down this way, and they're actually too wet. They can't get on paddocks, or they've got to really watch where they're going in paddocks. So we've got more rain coming in the next couple of days. We're now what'll be end of November. So you'll be seeing this video in a couple of days, but especially another inch or so coming in the next couple of days, and it's just cooled off a bit now. But so we're taking the opportunity to put some more fertiliser out. So Mary's just out here now, and we're putting out about 40 units of N behind the cows and in front of the cows, depending on what's sort of due, because looking at the forecast, it looks like it could be our last bit of rain for a while. Next week's warming back up. Well, I shouldn't say warm back up, but getting up to sort of proper summer temperatures, sort of back up to, mid to high 20s, early 30s by looks of the forecast. Could change, that's can change a fair bit, but yeah, so taking this opportunity, still plenty of moisture in the ground, and obviously with the rain coming, we should have grass through to Christmas, hopefully. So, which, for us to have grass through to Christmas is probably not quite normal, so it's been a very unusual year. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram if you like, Dixie Park Dairying, and yeah, we'll chat to you soon. So today we've sown another summer crop. So this is a paddock of globe turnips. It's a clear crop variety, which is licensed to a seed company and costs a fair bit more than normal, but there's a herbicide that we can use to help with fat hen, especially in any sort of summer weeds. So this was a sacrifice paddock that we used back in autumn, and obviously it's had nothing growing it all year. It's now been dished up for a while, but just with the constant rain we've had, we couldn't get it dry enough on top to get it sown. So we're taking the opportunity now to get that sown, and hopefully this will be ready for March when we have fresh cows in. So it's about a 12-week crop, so we're now end of November. It'll hopefully grow well, and we've got the opportunity to irrigate this as well with our hard hose if we need be. So, but they're talking another inch of rain or so later this week. So we're also in the process of getting some bales done as well this week, which is not ideal. We don't really want any more bales, but with the way the weather is, we're just waiting for our contractor to come back so we can do our second cut, and we probably look like it could be another 10 days until he can get here to do that. So we've taken the opportunity to take some bales off on the milking platform, some paddocks that were starting to lay over and just getting a bit too far gone. We're just taking them off now. They're also due for fert as well, so we want to get them back on and back in the rotation. So we're taking the opportunity now. So we'll end up with probably another couple of bales, which we're actually going to do a bit of a trial and tube wrap in a tube instead of individually. So we're going to do some tube, and with them bales, we can either put them through the mixer, or what we're going to do with our dry cows this year is put some rings or some square feeders in each paddock, and we can put them bales straight into the feeder. as long, and we'll also feed them with a mixer every couple of days as well, but just so they've got consistent feed while they're in the dry paddock instead of running out in between their major feeds. So we'll use them bales for that. We're also in the process of, we've got a contractor here with a digger and a dump truck, and we've got our tip trailer going as well, and we're carting clay from this stockpile here back up to the silage pit area to make another silage bunker. I might have mentioned that earlier in the video, but we've got to shift this clay because we're making it, and the pivot's going to come around pretty much. The end of the pivot will end up sort of through here, sort of thing. So we've got to shift all this dirt, so a prime opportunity to make another bunker, especially now that them 3 bunkers are full. We've got more to come, so good opportunity to do that. And while we're at it, got a new toy. This roller. So we've been looking at, we need a new roller anyway, for rolling after sowing, and been doing some research. New Zealand, this is sort of pretty popular, and in the UK seems to be as well, and it's a Cambridge roller. We've got the flaps on the front for levelling, and it's done a pretty good job of this. This was pretty ordinary before we been dished up. It was pretty, it wasn't real level. It's actually done a really good job. And we put a seeding unit on it as well. So we can sow our turnips, we can sow some grass, etc. So we just took that opportunity to get that on.
Hello all, welcome back to Limerick. So we are just about to let off the cows in the mornings. We milk them in the morning, but they kind of, in order to keep them not as long standing in the field, we put them into the shed for an hour or two afterwards. They wouldn't have access to silage, and just to have a small bit of an appetite when they're going out, and they're not out in the field as long. So we're just going letting them off now. We've been in, our night grazings have finished a long time with the milking cows, and we have couple more days left, or 2 more days left with the milking cows. We're just about to let them off now. Everything else, practically everything else is in. The calves are in, maiden heifers are in. So yeah, we're just going to let them off. So yeah, they're going out. We're down now. We had 4 rows of cows this morning. So we'll be down. We're picked off another row to dry it off, so they're staying inside today. They'll be once a day for 2 days. We'll dry them. Today's Tuesday, so we'll dry them on Thursday. So I think we want 2 more today, and tomorrow we'll finish our grazing for the cows. We've been kind of in and out here and there. We've 1 more paddock to graze, and with the cows are drying off, they'll go out afterwards and they'll stay out until that's finished, and that's the end of the grazing platform then. We'll get a farm walk done. I'm hoping it should be in around the 800. The paddocks they're grazing, we'll say the last couple of days, and to the one paddock's finished, they were last grazed in September, so there's a decent cover on them, and they need to be grazed off. They're going okay, so the yield and performance and things, so we're 14.5 litres. Our fat is 581, protein 462, and somatic cells at 93. Somatic cells going very good this time of the year. We're delighted to have it done. So they're doing fine. Sure, we're on the wind down. We're still on 4 kilos of ration. That hasn't changed. We're on the wind down. I was doing other stuff up then as well, kind of performance so far for the year, a small bit. So to the end of October, we have 478 kilos of milk solids supplied to the end of October. So with November and a small bit of December milk, we should get over the 500. And to date then, fat to date 470 and protein 394 to date. I'd love to get over the 4 for protein for the year, but we won't. It's just as the volumes are too small now. We'll get up to 97, I hope, or something like that. So it is a target to try and get over the 4. So yeah, things are quietening down. There's the good few dried off. All the first time calvers that are calving early, they're all in. We were dosing yesterday. They got their fluke dose yesterday, and 'tis an oral drench, and the calves are in, the maiden heifers are in. We were dosing them yesterday as well and clipping tails. So everything else is quietening down. We had a couple of cows that were out all along. We still have one bundle of cows out full time during the outside block. So just grazing that off. But they'll be coming on in next week. They'll be in again, and so that's it so far. So things are winding down. Things are okay. Our 4 cows, or the couple of cull cows, left as well. They left start of last week. They did very well. They were on the ad lib ration. They ate a lot, but they did well at the factory. It's mad. Like, we have more or less the same input costs for them, and sure, the price has almost doubled. So the fact our input costs are the same, there's a great turn out of them. The heifers as well. We had 3 Angus heifers as well. So they went to the butcher. Today's Tuesday. They went to the butcher yesterday morning. So they're all gone. These 2 girls inside here at the moment, they're on Weight Watchers. They've a good bit of condition on them, and they're not calving too early at all. So they get kind of the leftovers then of anyone else. So that pin is handy for that. So yeah. These are maiden heifers. There's 2 cows inside with them, alright, that kind of got lame, and they were dried off early, but they're in with them. They're in a while for the training for the cubicles, because we have the slats outside. Training up, we bring them in here to this shed. There's no slats in this part of the shed. You have the automatic scrapers. So when they come in, we put the scrapers down about halfway, so they're used to walking over. The scrapers are turned off, so they're used to walking over it, and they're turned off for a couple of days. So it does get dirty enough for the first couple of days, and then until they all start to lie up, and they're very good now. I think we have one still not lying up properly, and what we end up doing with her, there's a space out the back outside there with cubicles, so we can not tie her up, but we can put a gate behind her, and we can feed her, give her silage and water and stuff at the far side, and there's no interference. And 2 or 3 days, and after that they're all lined up then. But that's just as we do, just close down the gates, turn off the scrapers, but make sure, I think it's a good idea to have the scrapers bring down halfway, so they are used to walking over them, not have the scrapers parked at the end. It's only a small idea.